Hebrews chapter 10 verses 11 to 14, and 18. For by a single offering, he has perfected for all time those who are sanctified. Brothers and sisters, every priest stands daily at his ministry, offering frequently those same sacrifices that can never take away sins. But this one offered one sacrifice for sins, and took his seat forever at the right hand of God. Now he waits until his enemies are made his footstool. For by one offering he has made perfect forever those who are being consecrated. Where there is forgiveness of these, there is no longer offering for sin. In this reading we have a contrast between the Jewish high priest and Jesus the high priest. Let's look at the Jewish high priest job description given in Hebrews chapter 5 verses 1 to 6. Every high priest is taken from among men and made their representative before God, to offer gifts and sacrifices for sins. He is able to deal patiently with the ignorant and erring, for he himself is beset by weakness and so, for this reason, must make sin offerings for himself as well as for the people. No one takes this honor upon himself but only when called by God, just as Aaron was. In the same way, it was not Christ who glorified himself in becoming high priest, but rather the one who said to him, "You are my son, this day I have begotten you," just as he says in another place, "You are a priest forever according to the order of Melchizedek." As you can see, the Old Testament high priest felt the call to ministry, but his call was endorsed by other humans. They were God's representatives among the people and offered sacrifices for their own sins, and the sins of the people. Clearly, Jesus was called by his Father. Again, Jesus was without sin, thus there would be no reason for him to make a sin offering for himself, but only for the people. The high priest entered the Holy of Holies, made by human hands, a representation of heaven itself, God's dwelling place, on the Day of Atonement to offer blood not his own for the sins of many. Jesus made this same sacrifice when he offered his life blood, on the altar of the cross, for the sins of many, and then entered heaven not made by human hands but by the hand of God. The Old Testament high priest was unable to offer a perfect, or a complete, offering that could wash away all sin. Only Jesus could do that because Jesus himself was perfect in every way. The Jewish high priest was seen as a mediator for the Jewish people. Christ is the intercessor for the entire world. The sacrifice of an animal effectively brought legal purification. How much more effective is the blood of the sinless, divine Christ who, fulfilling the will of his Father, and of his own accord offered himself to purge the human race of sin, and render them fit to be of service of God.